What's up, everybody? Josh Armijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Steel Bearing Hand, entitled Slay in Hell. This is released on Carbonized Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Dallas, Texas, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very traditional, fast, violent hybrid of both death metal and thrash metal. Yeah. Ever since I first got acquainted with this band's sound and style, I have been instantly hooked on them. I love their brand of death and thrash metal. I love their storytelling. I love the way that they incorporate artwork into their music. Just some seriously badass Texas metal. And over the last several years, this band has been making a very strong name for themselves with their brand of music, from the early demo and EP work to the self-titled full-length that they put out in 2015. That album is still a banger to this very day, and I really cannot get the words "Kneel Before the Steel" out of my head. That is such a sick song, and definitely some of the best shit they've ever done. But it's been 6 long years since we had any new material from this project, and now in 2021, Steel Bearing Hand are back, and we have their long-anticipated second full-length entitled Slay in Hell. It's 6 tracks, and it clocks in at around 39.5 minutes in length, and pretty much, upon listening to this album, they've taken everything that they did on the first album, and they've completely expanded things a lot more. They're testing new waters, so to speak. And I honestly think that with Steel Bearing Hand testing new waters, they definitely are going to become an even bigger and badder entity than ever before. Because I think Slay in Hell might be the best shit I've heard Steel Bearing Hand do, period. From the minute you hear the opening riffs of Command and the Infernal Exarch, you really are going to be in for an absolute monstrous thrill ride. This is a great, great mixture of awesome riffs, awesome musicianship, awesome storytelling, and even some twists and turns you probably won't even see coming. That's what I really enjoy about Slay in Hell a lot. Musically, like I said, these guys know exactly what they're doing. They are absolutely skilled and crafted musicians in how they deliver in the performances that they deliver, from Command of the Infernal Exarch to Tombspawn till Death and Beyond, Exsanguined, just absolutely phenomenal musicianship going on here. Very awesome riffs. There is a lot of riffs to be heard throughout this entire album, almost scorching hot to be specific. I love the way these riffs are played. I love the gallantry. I love the energy. And I like how they even take more doom death sort of inspired elements on this album, like going to the track Exsanguined. That's one of the longer tracks on here. You can definitely feel there's a death doom vibe going on here, doing something a little bit different from the normal sweet Steel Bearing Hand sort of formula. And I like that they decided to get a little bit creative and ballsy by doing something completely different with that sort of sound, but I think it works out for the best here. The riffs are so awesome here. The bass tone is so perfect. I love everything about it. I love the way that it's played, and I love the way that it accompanies a lot of the great heavy riffs that you hear throughout this entire album. The drumming on here is fantastic. If you love the drumming on the first record, I think you're going to enjoy this drumming a hell of a lot more this time around. Great pacing, great drum fills, great tom blast, just great everything about this drum performance. Once again, going to the lengthier songs of this album like Tombspawn and Till Death and Beyond, and of course the aforementioned Exsanguined. Just some seriously phenomenal drum performances going on here. You get the great mixtures of fast thrash and death metal, the doomier stuff, which I think works out really well here. This drum performance is phenomenal. And when it comes to the vocals, I love the vocal work here. I love the diversity this time around. Of course, you get... the thing I love about the Steel Bearing Hand vocal style is the fact that there's a lot of anger and snarl and wit and charisma coming out of this guy's voice. And then, of course, you get to moments where you hear his voice begin to get his register begins to get a little deeper, a lot more booming and bellowing, and I think that's really, really sick. Like I mentioned previously with the death doom sort of influences, I can definitely hear that sort of vibe going on when he goes to the lower, deeper registers of his voice. It's just really, really sick. And going back to the track Exsanguined, I think he delivers some phenomenal vocal work on that song. It is so awesome. But yeah, I love the diverse vocal styles going on here, whether it's just in rage, snarling madness, or just deep, bellowing, booming vocal growls. It's just really, really sick to hear these vocals delivered in such a fantastic manner. I really, really love this vocal performance. So overall, this is some of the best Steel Bearing Hand material I've heard yet. If you are a fan of this band's body of work, I think you're really going to appreciate this new Steel Bearing Hand album a lot. If you love aggressive death thrash with just a little bit of a darker sort of edge, I think Slay in Hell is the album to be checking out. I'm definitely looking forward to hearing what this band does next, so yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Steel Bearing Hand Bandcamp page where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it by digitally, and I believe it is available physically in a wide multitude of physical formats, CD, cassette tape, and what I have in my hands is the 12-inch vinyl version. Really, really elaborate black and white artwork going on here. I love that. Here's the back cover with track listings. There you see Carbonized. I believe that is a Tank Crimes affiliated label. So I know Tank Crimes does some great stuff, but I think this is a newer sort of sub-label of theirs. Lyrics on one side, all the band members on the other side, thanks list and all that. And I believe the vinyl comes in 3 sorts of variants. Standard black, gold, and the version that I got, which is on a nice silver vinyl. Kind of felt it matches the black and white album cover aesthetic a little bit, but yeah, absolutely fantastic quality on this record. But yeah, pick up a copy from Carbonized or through the band, whichever way you're able to get a hold of it. So again, the album is Slay in Hell by Steel Bearing Hand. This is released on Carbonized Records. Go check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very strong 9 out of 10. Rip-roaring death thrash from one of the best Texas metal bands going right now. So, if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it, how you think it compares to their previous release. Are any of you guys into Steel Bearing Hand? Definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until the next time, Army out.